Are we in one of those moments where Bitcoin is about to make it or break it? The make it or break it moment for Bitcoin. Okay, what is it going to do? Right? Some people think if we break that 25,000, we will skyrocket immediately up to 30,000. But some people also think if we don't, we're going to plummet down to 15,000, right? So this is what it's looking like right now. So are we going to break through? Are we going to make it? Or are we going to break it and go back to 15,000? I think that's a drastic drop. I don't see that happening. Some people are still clinging on, especially the bears and naysayers are still clinging on that we're going to form a new bottom. I still hear people talk about, hitting 12,000 or 11,000 as a bottom, right? They are desperate. They are desperate because they either have some shorts piled on that are about to get liquidated, or they missed out on this recovery and they wish to buy back in. That's exactly what's happening right now, okay? But we do know there is a big fight going on right now, right around 25,000 because, and I showed this morning, because it's a very crucial level. After 25,000, we're going straight up to 28, 29,000. So that is why it's so crucial and so hard to break. But, let's put things into perspective. We only tested it 3 times so far, and it's only been a week. The first time we tested 25,000 was February 16th. Today is only the 21st. So it's only been 5 days. It's not like we've been testing it for 5 months or 5 weeks or 5 years. We've only tested it 5 days, okay? So for people that are getting antsy or, again, predicting all doom and gloom, right? Just chill. Just chill. It's only been a week, less than a week, since Bitcoin has pumped up, right? Tested 25,000, and it's just a matter of time we break through. If we zoom out a little bit, I mean, come on. We were here for a little bit, and then, if I have to zoom out a little more, we've been suppressed for a long time, okay? So whatever we're going through right now is nothing compared to the 14 months of down cycle that we just got past and we lived through, right? This is nothing. This is nothing. I mentioned about Bitcoin and decoupling, right? There's been a great kind of decoupling. I don't know about great, but I take that back. Maybe not great, but there is a decoupling that's starting to happen, right? You can see the stock market ever since last week started heading down, mostly, again, because of Bullard, okay? He's the sole reason why the market shifted red last week and possibly this week because of what he said today. But you can see Bitcoin, stays strong around 24,000, even 25,000 a couple times, right? So you're starting to see that decoupling right now. And that's fantastic. That's really fantastic, right? And as time goes on, we're going to see more and more of this. Now, there's certain times, it's too early to make this call. There's certain times where, Bitcoin does decouple favorably and sometimes unfavorably, because sometimes the market goes up and Bitcoin doesn't move, right? But that's not what's happening right now. This is actually measuring the coupling or decoupling between Bitcoin and the S&P 500, okay? And my camera's cutting it off, but very rarely do you actually see Bitcoin decouple away from the U.S. market. This is one of those times. Now, previously we had that back in November, which was actually bad because the U.S. market was rallying, but Bitcoin was not moving. So that's kind of how you know that that's like bottom, right? But now we're decoupling because U.S. market has been selling off a lot recently, but Bitcoin is still staying strong above 24,000. So we're starting to see that decoupling from the U.S. market, which is absolutely fantastic. That's what we want to see. As Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger and bigger and the market cap expands, we're going to see less and less correlation with the U.S. market. We're not quite there yet, but we will. But here's another interesting correlation, that Bitcoin is actually really correlated to the Chinese stock market, the Shanghai Composite Index. You can see It's going 1-to-1. And why this is the good thing is because the Chinese stock market is about to rally. It's about to rally hard. Okay? Not only did I talk about some of the pro-crypto stuff that's been happening recently with Hong Kong, with coming out with crypto trading and licensing crypto exchanges once again, but, you know, China's opening up now, right? Zero COVID policy. They are opening up. Everything is about to start blooming in China. Their banks is injecting money into the economy, keeping interest rates low, right? They are about to bloom. And if Bitcoin is truly coupled to the Chinese market right now, well, that's good. That means Bitcoin is about to bloom too, right? So these are great things. Great things that are happening. Bitcoin is doing its thing. It's coming up from bottom. And this one is looking at the Fibonacci level 1.618 ratio and how that's been a hard level to crack, especially coming up from bottom, right? In 2015, actually, Bitcoin was unsuccessful in terms of breaking it, went down a little bit, and then finally broke through. In 2019, it did break through, and then 2023, right now, we did break through as well. It's one of those, levels that on a longer scale, right, is important, but obviously we have seen periods where we have gone up and down it, but it's just one in many to look at, including also you see the blue line, which is the 200 weekly moving average, right? That's also important, and that is something that we need to break because we're right there. That's part of the reason why some people think we have not been able to break 25.2 because the 200 weekly moving average is 25.2, and that's the reason, right? And if we do break through it, it will be absolutely enormous. That is where the bears are putting up all their ammunition, right? They do not want that to happen. Every time we have dipped below the 200 weekly moving average and we came back above, we had a tremendous run and recovery afterwards, right? We could see something like that happen again. Now, other great things in terms of Bitcoin, well, the Golden Cross. We have passed the Golden Cross. We have formulated the Golden Cross, and we're moving past, and we're going forward, right? This is also very, very positive. Traditionally speaking, a very, very bullish sign for Bitcoin. Doesn't happen very often, and sometimes when it does, we get tremendous movement like this. This is over a long term, but I mean, there's no easier way to break this down than this chart right here. Bitcoin is going to continue to move forward. This is zoomed out going all the way back to the beginning. So when zoomed out, you don't notice all the little dips. You don't notice all the volatility, the macro conditions, the exchange failures, the rug pulls, and the bad actors. No. What you just notice is Bitcoin always forms a new high, comes back down, and then forms a new high. That's simply it. And there's a lot of indicators at a long-term scale measures this. And you can see every single one measures it pretty perfectly. And whenever you have a bottom and Bitcoin starts coming up, all these indicators start showing that you're going to go to the upside. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So this whole notion of making or break it, traders care about that. But if you're an investor, especially a long-term investor, right? None of that matters. None of the stuff about macro matters. You know that Bitcoin will continue to go up because the holders continue to hodl and continue to DCA, and with the growing adoption, with the growing fundamental, the growing everything, okay, about Bitcoin. Anything measurable. It's all growing. So it's just a matter of time. We break up, we continue higher, and form a new high. That's how I see it.